people die left and right. Oh, the struggle is real. But first, look what came in the mail. I literally wrote, how is she already making me want to cry, and it's only chapter 1. Hi friends, hello, welcome to Books and Crafts. My name is Martyna and welcome to the start of a new reading vlog. I have an exciting TBR for this vlog. I have a few books that I really would like to get to, especially before the month ends. And I also have some exciting book deliveries that I think that might come this week, which I'm also going to be sharing with you guys. I hope everything gets here on time. And yeah, so let me share the TBR with you. So here is the first book that I am planning to get to. This is The Grace of Kings by Ken Liu. This is book 1 in his Dandelion Dynasty series, which is a Chinese-inspired historical fantasy. And to kind of make it more fun for myself, I also have some annotation accessories. So I have these tabs, which I am planning to use. They have kind of your standard colors, just like these ones. They are from Amazon, but they also have some additional colors which I appreciate. And I also have here my regular highlighters. I am using these Stabilo Boss highlighters in pastel colors. So there are 6 colors and they match most of the tabs really well. My favorite pen is this Muji in .38. I love this gel pen so much. I also have some just sticky notes for additional remarks and annotations, and those cool sticky notes that I showed you guys last time. They are perforated, so you can kind of separate all of the brush strokes and have yourself a fun little annotating space. And then, as you can probably tell by the tabs that I have here, I already started reading this book once. But because I was listening to it on audiobook, and the audiobook is really nice, it's narrated by Michael Kramer. However, it is quite a complicated story, so I've listened to around 80 pages of this, but I think I'm going to just read it physically and annotate, and I'm going to start over. So this is quite a complicated story with a lot of names and characters and places and politics, and the narration style is quite detached, I would say. So the narrator is distanced from the characters and they are only kind of referring the events to us, so it moves quite quickly. We go from one place to another in this world quite quickly, and so I wasn't following the audiobook narration so well. I wasn't retaining a lot of information, so I just thought I would start over. And my lamp is here, sorry. Yeah, so I thought I would start over, and then the next book that I really want to read is Elantris by Brandon Sanderson. So I am so hyped up for Cosmere. I love Cosmere. The Mistborn trilogy is one of my favorites of all time, but I haven't read everything in the Cosmere yet, so I have not yet read the Stormlight Archives. So my goal for the next couple of months is to catch up on everything Cosmere related. So Elantris, then Mistborn Era 2, I've only read the first book, and then those short stories, I want to catch up on that, and then I want to read The Way of Kings for the first time. I am going to vlog my experience. I can't wait. My boyfriend is currently reading it. I recommended Brandon Sanderson to him, and he started with Mistborn. He loved it, and now he read everything there is, and he's already in the 3rd book of the Stormlight Archive. And the things that he keeps telling me just make me so hyped for this. I just want to read it. So I'm planning to read Elantris this week. It's on audio, on script, so that's the way I'm going to be consuming it. And I am also in the middle or towards the end of Twin Crowns by Catherine Doyle and Catherine Weber. This is a YA fantasy which I'm also listening to on script, and it is very enjoyable. I definitely want to finish it and then start Elantris. So in this we are following two sisters, Ren and Rose, who were separated at birth, and now Rose has been raised as a princess, as a future ruler of this world, while Ren was taken in by her mother's part of the family, by the witches. Now nowadays witches are considered evil, and it's illegal to possess any powers like that. So on her side, Ren is being raised to, they are twins, identical twins. So Ren is being raised by her grandmother and the witches to one day take over and kind of replace Rose on the throne, and so that she can be the queen that the witches need. And then Rose, on the other hand, is quite clueless. She's being raised in a palace. She's not had the easiest life, but then she is the princess, so it's nothing compared to Ren. And she has been raised believing that the witches are bad and that the witches actually killed her parents. So the story starts pretty much with the switch. Ren takes her place, Rose is kidnapped and then brought to the witches, and we start there, and it's quite fun, very much plot driven. I am enjoying it. It's nothing that I haven't read before. We have two romances, or like romantic subplots. They are fun and angsty, and it was just a really good audiobook for those very hot days. We are going through a heat wave. We've been going through a heat wave for the past 2 months, and it's so hot outside and inside. So it was really fun. So I am planning to finish it quite soon and then start Elantris. But for today, I think I am just going to turn on my ceiling fan and get to some reading. I want to read some Grace of Kings. Hi friends, good morning. So I've just filmed 2 booktube videos and edited one. It's going to go on the channel tomorrow. It's rendering now, and so I thought, since I have my makeup on, I can use this opportunity to chat with you a little bit about the books, because I've made some progress in all of the books. But first, look what came in the mail. I'm so excited about this. I thought we could do a little unboxing together. I think I know what's there. And it's so much bigger than I thought. Wow. Oh, look at this. Look at this stunner. Wow. This is a beautiful book. This is the first binding by R.R. Verdi. I don't know much about this book other than it is one of Patrick's favorites and it has a beautiful cover, and also that it's a South Asian inspired fantasy. And so let's see, just the regular black cover here, but the dust jacket is so pretty. Does it have a map? I love maps in my books. Let's see. Oh, it does have a map, and it's quite pretty. I love it. One of my next vlogs is probably going to be me reading this one, but I also have Bubble coming soon. As soon as it is released and sent from Amazon to me, so that's also something that I would like to film me reading and discussing with you guys. So I'm very excited about this one. And now let's chat about the books. However, I do still have some work to do today, so I thought maybe I will position you guys somehow here on my messy desk and I will do a little bit of work while chatting about the books. I have my journals, my junk journals that I made and sold this weekend, and so what I want to do is I want to go through them page by page, make sure that every pocket and tuck spot is filled with some goodies for my customers, and just make sure everything is intact and prepared for shipping. So that's what I'm going to be doing. Okay, so I hope this will be all right. And so yeah, so let's chat about the books. So first I finished the Twin Crowns and it was okay. It was just a normal YA fantasy, nothing super special, nothing stood out to me about this book, but it was very enjoyable and I really had fun listening to this audiobook. The only problem I had with the audiobook is that it is narrated by two separate narrators, one for each of the sisters, and one of them was speaking much quicker than the other. And so I had to switch speed of the audiobook that I was listening to. So I was listening to one of the audiobook narrators at 2.5 speed, but the other one I had to switch to 2 because I could not understand the word at 2.5. So that was a little bit bothersome, but yeah, it was fun. It was quite tropey, but like in a good sense. Really enjoyable. A good read for this heat wave when I don't have much brain power and I just want a nice and fun read. And so the next book is The Grace of Kings, right? And I'm having trouble with this book. I'm having trouble with this one because of the way it is narrated. So I like the writing. I like Ken Liu's writing style and the sentences that he creates and the way he describes things. But what I don't like that much is, just checking if everything is in order. But what I don't like that much is, well, first of all, the narrator is omniscient, so we don't get any of the characters' perspectives, but rather we jump from one character to the other. We know what this one thinks and then what that one thinks, and then we know what happens at the other end of this world. So this type of narration, it creates a detachment, I feel, between the reader and the story and the characters. And for me, being a character reader, I really prefer a story with almost none of the plot, but with great characters, and yeah, I still can find it interesting. However, here the characters, well, technically we do have two main characters, but do we actually, because we don't spend much time with them at all. And so I'm not so sure about this. Okay, maybe let me try to summarize what this is about. Maybe that would be a little bit easier. So we are set in this country called Dara, and this is an island country. So we have one big island and then some smaller islands, and all of the islands are or used to be their own like states or provinces, and then on the big island it was also divided into several states, and they all had separate governments and separate like laws and commerce, so everything was separately. And then one guy from one of the provinces, Zana, who was the king of Zana, he decided he is going to unify everything. Okay, I closed the window. I hope the sound is going to be better. It's quite noisy outside today. So yeah, so he decided he is going to unify everything, all of those separate states. He basically started a war. It was a very bloody war. A lot of people lost their lives, and he won. He called himself an emperor, and he made sure that with some of his action that the nobility, the noble houses, and those who used to be in power no longer could harness the power that they had, in a sense that he separated some of the families, and he basically gave more of the, maybe not power, but influence to the peasants. He wanted to unify this whole country into a singular state with just one language and just one religion, and through this he wanted to control the information that was being spread. And he was not the most popular emperor. However, he quickly dies, and there is a new emperor set on a throne, and it's not the one that he chose for his successor. I'm going to grab another journal. So it is not the one that he chose as his successor, but his youngest son, through some political machinations, is named the emperor, and he's completely manipulated by his advisor and by the regent. And so then, through different occurrences, a new political rebellion occurs, and then all of a sudden we have new kings here and there and everywhere. Everyone wants to be kings. There is a lot of prophecies going on, and you know, it all is quite interesting. But the thing is that it feels as if the narrator is just referring to us like a history lesson, because we never get too deep into what the characters think and feel in those given situations. We see everything just surface level. There's a lot of characters introduced, and none of them, or not many of them, stay for long. People die left and right, and it's not my favorite type of a story. So far it really seems that this book may not be for me, which I'm really sad about, but I also am determined to keep reading it, because I've heard really great things about book 2. I've heard that this one, book 1, is for many people kind of just a prequel, and I hope it is the case, because I am struggling a little bit. I decided to kind of go back to the audiobook, and I'm trying to immersion read, so listen to the audio while I am physically reading the book. Now I know that we do technically have two main characters, so we already met them, but we honestly don't follow them that often. So one of them is Kunigaru, who is a very charismatic bandit, and he just decides to run one of these rebellions, one of these many rebellions. And then Matazindu, whose father used to be the emperor's duke, or the duke under the emperor, and a commander of an army, but he was set up, he died, and the whole Zindu clan was basically destroyed, and the only survivors were Matazindu and his uncle, who took care of him, and now they are looking to regain the influence and whatever it is that they believe the emperor took from them. And so from the synopsis, I got the feeling that these two are supposed to be friends, but honestly, they haven't even met yet, and I'm like at almost 200 pages in, so I don't know about this friendship. Maybe they will meet soon, because right now they are just like two separate people in the sea of so many other people whose names I don't remember, whose stories I don't think matter much in the grand scheme of things. So this definitely feels a lot like a setup of the political situation. And then in the next book we will get maybe a little bit more of like character-based story. I honestly hope so. I'm going to persevere, and I am going to give book 2 a chance, and then yeah, I guess we will see. And I also started reading Elantris, and I believe I am already like a third through, and I am enjoying it a lot. So the only version available for me on Scribd is the dramatized adaptation audiobook. This is my first time reading or listening to an audiobook like that. It is full cast, like I mean full, every single character has its own voice actor, but there are also a lot of sounds in the background, and it's like a movie playing in your head just without the visual. So it's an interesting experience, and I think I am enjoying it, but I think I would not like this book as much if I was reading it physically, because I can see that the writing style, I know it's Brandon Sanderson's one of the first books, right? And you can really see that the dialogue is not great. There is not like the characters, like the main male guy, Ryodan, I believe his name is. He reminds me so much of Elend from Mistborn. So, you know, I see that he's definitely improved from there as an author, but because this is such an interesting experience with the dramatized adaptation, I think, yeah, I'm enjoying it more than I would otherwise, and the dialogue does not sound so cringy because the narrators really put their emotions into it, and they make it sound like an actual conversation between people. And even if some sentences do not sound like what I believe people speak like, it's still fun, and I am also enjoying the concept very much. So just in case you are not sure what Elantris is about, this is a story about this city of Elantris, which used to be very beautiful, and also people who lived there were considered gods. They had amazing powers, but something happened and some weird disease started spreading, and people who catch this disease or this virus, they pretty much become living corpses. Their heart stops. They don't need to eat anymore, although they do feel hunger, and they pretty much don't die. An interesting aspect is that their wounds don't heal but they hurt. So you have to be very careful, because if you hurt yourself, it's not going to heal, but it's going to hurt for eternity. So there is that. And now these people who are infected, they are closed up in the city of Elantris. They are quarantined then there. They are isolated from the populace, and they basically are treated outside of Elantris. They are treated as dead. And so the story starts when our prince Ryodan, I believe, is infected with this disease, and he is sent to Elantris. However, he was just about to get married to a princess from a nearby kingdom, and when she comes, the contract between their two families states that pretty much they are already married, even though they have never met, and even though he's now considered dead. And so on one hand we have this prince who is trying to find himself in this new reality of living in Elantris, and on the other hand we have this princess who tries to figure out what happened to him. I really enjoy this concept of the city and this mysterious disease. I'm definitely interested in figuring out more about this, and it's Brandon Sanderson. I really like his books, so I am enjoying it, and I think I can safely recommend the dramatized adaptation. If you are struggling maybe with this book, if you would like to try something new, then do try the dramatized adaptation. It is available on Scribd. Okay, now I really need to do some more work, but I will speak to you guys again when I have more to tell you about. Packing orders for my customers. I have each of the journals packed with a little handmade thank you card, which I've written on the other side of, and some beads and a beautiful eyelash trim. And then each of the journals will come with a little thank you gift, which is a surprise, a little charm. I'm definitely not the best at packing orders beautifully, but yeah, I really enjoy doing this. And how beautiful are those papers. Oh, the struggle is real. The struggle of a character-driven reader with this book is real. So I finished The Grace of Kings, and it did get a little bit better, but my kind of final conclusion is that this just may not be a book for me, and I'm going to talk a little bit about this. But first, I just wanted to share with you guys, I had some more exciting packages delivered, and I will say, so I got 2 more books in the mail, and I already started reading both of them. So the first one is Furysong, which is book 3 and the conclusion of the Aurelian cycle by Rosaria Munda, which starts with Fireborn. And this I'm already like halfway through this, already started annotating and all that, and it's incredible. And if you have not yet picked up Fireborn, then please do, because it's a great, technically it's YA fantasy trilogy, but when I read this, I don't read this like YA. I don't think about this like I think about YA, because of the themes, because of the complex political situation, because of the very intricate characters and relationships between them. It's so great. I can't wait to finish it, but I'm also scared because, like, you guys, page 19, I literally wrote, how is she already making me want to cry, and it's only chapter 1. So yeah, emotional read. And the other book that I got is this Arcanum Unbounded. This is the UK paperback version, and yeah, like I said in the beginning of this vlog, I really want to start catching up on Cosme and read The Way of Kings very soon. So I've already read the 11th Metal, which is a very short story focusing on Kelsier, one of the main characters from Mistborn, and it was okay. Like, I don't think it brought anything new to the story, but I am now reading The Secret History, and it's also focusing on Kelsier, who honestly so far is one of my favorite of all of the Brandon Sanderson's characters. I love Kelsier, and so I'm very happy to read more about him. And it's very interesting. It's telling the story from such a different perspective. Yeah, and I also just really like this book. It has some illustrations and really cool illustrated chapters, and it also has some like maps, like sky maps. Another illustration here. I do really love and appreciate illustrations in my books. So here's one of the maps. So yeah, it's very fun. So I should be done with it maybe tomorrow with The Secret History, and then maybe I will pick up The Way of Kings. But so far, let's wrap up the books for this vlog. Oh, one more thing. I also got all of these tabs to annotate my books. So I have, all of them are from Amazon, so I have some that are pastel, muted colors, different styles, and also some which are more like darker colors, again muted, and then some really fun color schemes that, yeah, I just can't wait to use them. So yeah, just wanted to share it with you guys quickly. So let's sum up. I finished Elantris and it was so fun. I would say that even though the writing was not my favorite of Brandon Sanderson's, the story intrigued me so much. I really wanted to know more about this mysterious virus, where it came from, what is going on, and I also really enjoyed Riordan trying to adjust to this new way of life in Elantris and trying to build a community there, and everything that he did there was really interesting, and the political situation was interesting, so I had a lot of fun with it. I would put it kind of on par with Warbreaker for me. Yeah, it was really fun. But now for The Grace of Kings, it definitely got a little bit better from my last update. We follow our main two characters and they did actually meet, but see, my problem is that I was told a lot of the things about them and not really shown. So they meet, we have like 1 or 2 scenes with them both in it, and then they become best friends and brothers even, and they decide to start a revolution together. And I just did not buy those relationships, did not buy this friendship. So it was a little bit hard for me. And again, I will probably repeat myself, but this book felt for me as if the author or the narrator took some historical events and decided to tell them to someone by adding a little bit of like a plot and a little bit of maybe motives behind some historical figures. So it felt very historical and quite dry in this. However, I do appreciate the scope of the story. The story was intriguing enough for me that I kept reading, and after kind of the midpoint, I definitely wanted to know what was going to happen, especially with our two main characters. Even though I wasn't worried about them, I wasn't really caring about them that much. I was just so indifferent. I liked the female characters. There are not present in the story a lot, but Gia, Kuni's wife, and also there was a female general in the army, and in general the female characters I think were done really well. I also liked how through them can you examine the themes of how women are treated in the society, what is their role when it's war and they don't have the training to join the army, and they are also not expected or even allowed to join the army. So this was interesting, and how they get kind of agency over their own lives when it is also up to them to defend themselves and their children and their homes. So this was interesting to follow, and yeah, I think I'm going to give this book about like 3.5 stars. If book 2 does not give me a little bit more in terms of characters, I'm probably going to stop there and decide that this series is just not for me. But that is the end of this vlog. Thank you so much for spending this week with me. Thank you so much for watching. I would love to know if you have read any of the books that I read in this vlog and what you thought about this. I would love to discuss with you in the comments. And yeah, I would love it if you guys subscribe to my channel and liked this video if you enjoyed it. And I will speak to you very, very soon in the next one. Have an amazing day. Bye.